y'all, it's Diana, and I'm here to talk about some of my fiber projects, things that I'm starting. Since I moved down to South Florida, I'm back in my parents' yard where I've planted lots of bananas, and I've been watching other YouTubers talking about how they make fiber and even clothes out of these basketry, so very intrigued. I'm going to switch the view so you can see the things that I'm talking about. Where's the... So here's the banana fruiting. We are getting fruit, and I don't know if you can see it in the video. I'll have to look later, but my honeybees love the banana flowers, so they're very happily collecting the nectar from those bananas. Got a whole bunch of bananas here, and got more on the other side. That's why I was like, I should do something with those. This is one step of my fiber processing with the bananas. These are the inner part of the stalk, which you should be able to get some kind of fibers out of to make fabric. So this is step one, where I dry them, and I'll show you more processing as we go on with this banana project. The green iguana, this one's a baby. There's a whole pack of babies that just got out here. I'll show you how I'm trying to keep them out of some of my plants, at least in a little bit. I saw the mother. Where'd he go? Oh, he moved. I saw the mother, who's more like 3 feet, this morning, and they can get up to 5 and 6 feet, and they're extremely hungry, and they like everything. I wanted to show you a few of the dye plants I have planted in my yard. My phone isn't focusing in macro at the moment, so I'm not sure those are in focus, but this is Coreopsis, Coreopsis tinctoria to be exact. Maybe it'll focus on this one. All those yellow flowers create a beautiful yellow dye. Next we have zinnia, another great dye plant. I happen to have this particular one growing in a green stalk. The tinctoria, the Coreopsis, that was also in a green stalk. I guess I could... There you go. See it growing in the top layer there. Over here we've got Japanese indigo. Sorry, I was trying to think of the Latin name. You can see the little flower on there. A great person to learn about Japanese indigo from is Britt Dolis from Oregon. Sea Spell Fiber, I think, is her Instagram, if you want to look that up. Continuing on the Tour de Fleece, today is stage 10. I've been working on some top that I dyed at a Yarn Guild event, and I had been using, you can see it better here, the support spindle, but I tend to spin toad hair on the spindle, and so after 4 years I decided I'm just going to spin it on the wheel and get this done with, and I'm able to spin it a little bit thicker on the wheel, which is nice. I had a big pile of this stuff that I hand dyed, so kind of interesting. I did the support spindle because I wanted to keep the colors separated and not blend them quite so much, so there's a little more pop, but I kind of like this, like what I call my mermaid colors with the soft muted kind of blues and purples and yellows, and maybe I can find a project where I can use them both together somehow. Alright, Tour de Fleece. Hey there, it's Diana. I'm here to talk to you about the wool that I got on my Scottish trip back in May. I want to show you some of the things I got. I usually travel with just a little carry-on, so couldn't stock up, but I found some really great shops, and I've been to some other shops that are really good, so I'm going to tell you about it. First of all, I want to show you how I keep my wool. So moths, of course, are always a problem. Some people say put lavender in your wool. I'm here to tell you that that does not work. The moths will literally nest in your lavender so that they can go out and ravage your fibers when they're hungry. So what I have done, and it seems to be working really well, is I buy these. Okay, I'm not back far enough to see the whole thing, but it's a pillow protector. It's a pillowcase, and it has a zip, so you can zip it up. The moths can't get through there. And you buy the high thread count pillowcases, and that seems to be working really well. I haven't had moths in my stuff since I did that. Now I have seen wool where people put bay leaves in it, and that did seem to work. That wool was fine. So I would suggest bay leaves rather than your old lavender. Okay, first, this is not knitting wool, but this is wool. I got myself a nice piece of tweed. So, this is naturally dyed tweed. I suspect that it's not dyed at all, and that this is just natural colors of wool, because it's really more of a like grayish brown, dark brown. But I was still really excited to get it. It was a good price because I think they didn't know quite what it was and if anyone would buy it. So I got this, and I'm going to make something out of it. I haven't decided what yet. This is Harris tweed. All right. So that was one thing. Let me pull another trick out of my bag. So I went to this wonderful shop on Isle of Skye. And it's kind of in the northern part of Isle of Skye. Oh. There's some wool I collected along the way. Oh, there was supposed to be, I wonder what happened to the, anyway, I don't know where. I had some Highland cow wool that I collected that I also washed with this. But this is just like picking stuff out of fences, and I just find that really fun to make some kind of like a little bracelet or something kind of kitschy with. And so I probably can't pronounce the name of the shop very well. Shelester, which means yellow iris. I'm going to show it to you here in the camera. It's probably backwards because camera. But hopefully you can like transpose that. If you're going to Scotland and you're going to Skye, I would definitely stop and shop for wool here. These are all naturally dyed wools. How many shops do you find with just natural dyed wool, right? And it's a beautiful store. There are, of course, as everywhere in Scotland, sheep grazing outside in the field that you can look at and take pictures of. And then I got these gorgeous colors to work with. And so let me find the name of CR. I'm gonna have to remember which plants these were. CR. Can't think of what it was now. I'll have to think of that later. Meadowsweet. This was meadowsweet. This beautiful yellow. Had a meadowsweet plant in Seattle. I had no idea that you could make dyes with it. I will have to try that again someday. And this is oak. Okay, this one is a mix. It's a blend of oak and indigo. Very soft indigo exhaust. I really love indigo exhaust. I think those soft colors are just so gorgeous. And this wool is so soft. I love it. I still can't remember what the initials CR stood for. Anyway, if anybody's interested, I'll update it in a future show when I remember what I was doing. Okay, now for the next rabbit out of the bag. And, oops. This was a huge space in my little carry-on, so, you know, I love wool. So I went to Iona, the island of Iona, which is a beautiful place. I had no idea from looking online how much I was going to love it there. And it is just gorgeous. We stayed on the northernmost point. Bonus at the end of this video, or the end of this vlog post, I'm going to post a sea scene from sunset there because the sunsets were just out of this world. And the video is of a place where we walked down to the beach every day. It was just like a quarter mile from the building, and there was no other buildings there. We were like the northernmost building. You walk through the sheep and cow field, you go down a ways in the sand, and there's the beach. And we were swimming in this spot. If you look real close at the very beginning of the video, you can see two little sulky heads poking out on the right hand side. I'm obsessed with sulkies at the moment. Okay, so this is the wool that I got. I got lace weight wool, so I got this beautiful pink color, and they had kind of a select number of colorways because they don't have that many sheep on Iona. It's a small island, but they produce this locally every year. They send it out to a mill and they bring it back to sell it in the shops there. Got a white, kind of an off-white, and then I got this like gray color. So I'm not sure what I'm making with them yet, like most of the wool when I buy it, but it will be something at some point that reminds me of the Scottish Isle. Let's see on their shop. It says Sound of Iona. I got this at the grocery store. They have a little market there that really has an amazing amount of food. If you do a self-catering cabin, there is local seafood that you can order from the fishermen there. It was just amazing. I mean, I stayed for 4 days and I didn't want to leave. Hoping to go back sometime, make friends. It was great. Highly recommend Scotland in general, but Isle of Iona exceptionally. There's a lot of things to do. There's the old abbey that's being run by the Friends of Columba, Friends of Iona. I think it's Iona. And they do services there. It's the first church I have gone to in a long while, but I actually wanted to be there. It was that good. If you know me, I'm a little witchy. Totally believe in the person that was Jesus, but I don't really like how the church generally approaches it. This was an excellent church. There is an old abandoned nunnery. Oops. I'm going to get them back in my pillowcase. There was an old abandoned abbey. It was a nunnery. I guess they would call that a nunnery. So there is a very faded Sheila Nagig over one of the windows. They typically put Miss Sheila Nagig over the doors or the windows. She's a pre-Christian, I guess you would call it a deity. We're not really sure who she was supposed to be exactly. People have ideas, but she was carved often in stone, and you find them all over Scotland and Ireland, a little bit in England. Sometimes there's some similar-ish things in like Germany, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. But anyway, definitely the British Isles. And they were often put into churches, like over the doorways or windows. Like, she's an old hag, but she has survived, like old women do, and even thrived being in the center of activity. And so people will put their finger in. Okay, what she does, she's standing there, it's a figure. Usually you just kind of see the torso and the head, usually bald. She's holding open her yoni. And so people say it could be for fertility. People would put their fingers in there for fertility. Also protection, if you have issues with other people that are like, keep going after you, she is one that will protect you, so people will go for that. Fun story, when I was on my Ireland trip, we all put our fingers in that's the other one I've seen in person, at St. Gabnet's shrine. Everybody was putting their fingers in Sheila's yoni, and one of the ladies, who's totally in menopause, suddenly got her period that night. Crazy, right? Totally unexpected. Not sure it benefited her or she had fun with that, but very powerful energy around those particular carvings. That was a side thing. I mean, if you're traveling, you want to see some of these things. There's also the Dun E, which is the highest point in Iona, and you can climb up there, and there's St. Bridget's Well, which is, I mean, really, at this point in time, who knows what it was before, but it's kind of a crusty cow and sheep pool. I did collect water. I collect water all over the place in little vials because I'm very attracted to water. I have Moon in Cancer. I just love water things. It tunes me into that spirit. Water carries memory, right? So I said, am I going to get this crusty water? The well said yes, and I did. Yeah, I've got it on my altar. So that's my haul. That was actually a fair amount of room in my carry-on. I had to smush it down. I'm gonna have to figure out where the Highland fur went, because that would have been really fun. It was just this rusty color. Totally looked like it would come up nice and be a little accent, something in my wool out of the fence kind of fleece that I have. All right, stay tuned for that beautiful video of the sea at sunset, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.